It's mid-July 2023, and this morning I'm on the northern shore of Nova Scotia, and at a place called Big Island. And this is the mainland, and this is Big Island right here. And it's connected to the mainland by a causeway, which regularly gets washed out when we get big hurricanes or storms. And they always repair it, and the road is typically kept open. Now this shoreline is nice. It's quite sparsely populated towards the northeast there, where Cape Breton is, and it was settled by mostly Scottish settlers over the last few hundred years from the Highland clearances. So you have names, place names like Knoydart and Lismore and Arisaig up this coastline, and of course a lot of the First Nations names too. Looking towards the north, the Northumberland Strait, next stop out there would be Prince Edward Island, which is just over here, and then out this way you're getting into Quebec, which would be way off, and Cape Breton would be over here. Anyway, there's the kayak I'm going to be putting in right here and heading up this way, exploring this beautiful salt marsh this morning. So there is sunrise. I'm ready to go. Great blue heron up there. And this is the area I'm going to be exploring here, and there's some islands out there too, which I'll try and check out. Kayak's ready. Let's get going. Say Willet there. So there's the morning sky looking towards the west, and you can see to my right, that's the vast expanse of the salt marsh over there. Now in another few weeks, the salt marsh will be a really important ecosystem for migratory shorebirds coming back from the Arctic, where they're currently breeding. So my destination is up there, the islands that I mentioned earlier. Now we'll look around and maybe do some photo sketching, because I forgot my paints this morning. There's a good look at this salt marsh. You can see the sand dunes running along here, and it drops down. It's just full of holes and all kinds of mosquitoes here. It's a very important ecosystem. So these are the islands I hope to get to this morning. They're not too far off the shore. There's a willet out there. I don't know if you can see this dragonfly. Right there. That's a salt marsh species of dragonfly. I have no idea what it is. So that dragonfly, turns out it's a seaside dragonet, and it can actually breed in salt water, which is quite incredible. And I had a quick look at the distribution map for it, and it's all across the eastern US salt marshes, and up as far north as this salt marsh right here. This is the furthest north species account that I could find. So it's that's quite a unique sighting today. The seaside dragonet, the dragonfly that breeds in salt marshes. Very cool. So these are the Pig Islands, and I'm just arriving here. I think there's probably 3 or 4 of them in sort of a long sort of chain that goes out towards the west from me. This one here is joined by a little sandbar. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to actually do some bird surveys here, because I'm quite sure they're not birded very often. Be interesting to see what is here in terms of species. And there's the mainland there in the Pictou-Antigonish Highlands off to the south. I hear a deer in the woods. Branches snapping. Interesting. The mosquitoes here are fantastic. They're actually salt marsh mosquitoes, and they are bitey. Thankfully, I'm mostly covered. I also just found some more of those seaside dragonflies just right over there in that salt marsh. So that's nice. You can see some of the damage here from Hurricane Fiona. It's quite a mess, and it seems like most of these Pig Islands are like this. There's another look at one of these islands, Kingfisher. You can just see how Hurricane Fiona basically shredded it, and the winds obviously came out from the north, which is this way, and spared a few trees over there. But I mean, for the most part, the north-facing edges of these islands are very destroyed. But I mean, that also creates opportunities for other species of bird to nest. Just changes the ecosystem, I guess. I'm just sitting here drifting. There's Big Island itself. I'm going to make my way around here where there's actually another island. And I'm going to go on the outside of the islands when I make my return. I'm just making a crossing across a bay here. I think I'm going to make that little headland my final destination, I think, for this morning. Just going to poke my head around there and see what the water is like, and if it's looks good, then I might continue. It's been a beautiful morning. It's a shoal of mackerel there. That's the third shoal I've seen. There's a much bigger one up here. I'll try and get a look at it. There you go, they're feeding. It's great to see. Look at that. I wonder how many hundreds are down there. Awesome. Well, I think I'm going to pull over there and underneath those rocks and have a quick bite to eat. I've done about 7 kilometers this morning, so that would make a round trip of about 14 kilometers. So I'll decide what I'm going to do after I've eaten, and probably another 3 kilometers to go to the end of the island, which is down there. So we'll see. It's nothing fancy, just a good old jam sandwich. A bald eagle coming in with a fish. I think there's a nest just behind the trees there. That's nice to see. There's another adult out over the water there. So look at some of these big rock falls. Obviously a constant process. Well, I've decided I'm going to head back. That'll probably give me a return trip of about 15 kilometers. I'll see what I find on the way back, and maybe I'll film some stuff. But if I don't, thanks for watching again. I really enjoyed this. It's very different to the Eastern Shore, but it sort of has its own uniqueness. I mean, obviously you can hear lawnmowers and dump trucks and that kind of stuff over on the mainland, but it's a very sort of rich area for wildlife and birds, and obviously mosquitoes. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Take care.